Archaeologists thought Machu Picchu had no more mysteries left. Then they found a sealed doorway, and behind it, something they can't explain. A groundbreaking discovery at Machu Picchu has just sent shockwaves through the archaeological community, and what researchers found inside this hidden chamber might completely change everything we thought we knew about the Inca Empire. Stick around, because this story gets wild. The mysterious discovery. You're standing on the terraces of Machu Picchu, surrounded by thousands of tourists taking selfies, completely unaware that just meters below their feet lies a secret chamber that's remained untouched for centuries. Sounds like something out of an adventure movie, right? Well, this actually happened. In recent years, archaeologists using cutting-edge ground-penetrating radar technology made an astonishing find at Machu Picchu. They detected unusual cavities and chambers beneath the Temple of the Sun, one of the most sacred structures in the entire citadel. These weren't natural formations or simple storage rooms. The size, location, and construction suggested something far more significant. The team, led by researchers from various international institutions, spent months analyzing the radar data before they could even think about excavation. What they saw on those screens left them absolutely stunned. The chamber showed distinct architectural features that matched Inca royal construction techniques, but there was something different about it, something that didn't quite fit the typical pattern. Why Machu Picchu keeps surprising us. Here's the thing about Machu Picchu that blows my mind. This place was built around 1450 AD by the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, and we're still discovering new things about it in 2025. That's almost 575 years of mystery packed into those ancient stones. The citadel sits at a breathtaking 7,970 feet above sea level in the Peruvian Andes, perfectly nestled between two towering peaks. The Spanish conquistadors never found it during their conquest, which is probably why it remained relatively intact. It wasn't until 1911 when American historian Hiram Bingham brought it to international attention, though local people obviously knew about it all along. But here's what makes this place truly fascinating. Every few years, new technology reveals something we missed before. Ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR scanning, and advanced imaging techniques keep peeling back layers of history. The Incas were absolute masters at integrating their structures with the natural landscape, which means they could hide things in plain sight incredibly effectively. Some experts believe we've only scratched the surface of what Machu Picchu has to offer. There could be dozens more hidden chambers, tunnels, and sacred spaces waiting to be discovered. The recent find just proves they might be right. The technology that made it possible. Let's talk about how we're even finding these hidden chambers in the first place. It's not like archaeologists just started randomly digging holes everywhere, hoping to strike gold. Ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, works by sending electromagnetic pulses into the ground. When these pulses hit different materials like stone, soil, or air pockets, they bounce back at different speeds. By analyzing these reflections, scientists can create detailed 3D maps of what's underground without disturbing a single rock. The team at Machu Picchu also used muon detectors, which is basically the same technology they used to find hidden chambers in the Great Pyramid of Giza. Muons are subatomic particles that constantly rain down on Earth from space. Dense materials like stone absorb more muons than empty spaces, so by measuring how many muons pass through a structure, you can identify hollow areas inside. This combination of technologies allowed researchers to not only find the chamber but also estimate its size, depth, and potential contents before any physical excavation began. Pretty incredible when you think about it. We're living in an age where we can see through solid rock walls using particles from outer space. The Temple of the Sun connection. The hidden chamber's location beneath the Temple of the Sun isn't random. This temple is one of the most important religious structures at Machu Picchu, and understanding its significance helps us grasp why this discovery matters so much. The Temple of the Sun was built with precision that would make modern engineers jealous. The stonework is so exact that you can't fit a knife blade between the blocks. It features a curved wall, which is extremely rare in Inca architecture and shows this was a special place. The temple also has windows precisely aligned with astronomical events, particularly the winter and summer solstices. For the Inca people, Inti, the sun god, was the most important deity in their religion. The emperor himself was considered a direct descendant of Inti, which gave him divine authority. Any structure dedicated to sun worship would have been treated with extreme reverence and protected with the utmost secrecy. If the Incas wanted to hide something incredibly valuable or sacred, placing it beneath their most important temple would make perfect sense. It would be protected by both physical barriers and religious taboos. Nobody would dare disturb the space below such a holy site without facing serious consequences. What the initial scans revealed. When the first radar images came back, the research team couldn't believe their eyes. The chamber wasn't just a small cavity or a natural cave. We're talking about a deliberately constructed space with clear architectural features. The scans showed what appeared to be a rectangular chamber, approximately 15 to 20 feet in length. The walls seemed to be lined with carefully cut stone blocks, consistent with high-status Inca construction. But there was more. The radar detected multiple levels or platforms within the chamber, suggesting it might have been used for specific ceremonial purposes. Even more intriguing, the scans picked up several distinct objects inside the chamber. Based on their density and shape, these could be anything from ceremonial vessels to statues, or potentially even precious metal artifacts. The team noticed unusual patterns that might indicate textile remains or organic materials, though it's hard to be certain without direct observation. One of the lead researchers described the moment they saw these scans as goosebumps-inducing. After decades of studying Machu Picchu, finding clear evidence of a major undiscovered chamber felt like winning the archaeological lottery. But they knew they had to proceed carefully. Rushing in could damage irreplaceable historical treasures. The careful process of access. Here's where things get really delicate. You can't just grab a shovel and start digging at a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The process of accessing this chamber required months of planning, permits, and preparation. The Peruvian government, UNESCO officials, and various archaeological boards all had to review and approve the excavation plan. They needed to ensure that any work done wouldn't compromise the structural integrity of the Temple of the Sun above. Remember, this building has stood for over 500 years, and nobody wants to be responsible for damaging it. The team decided to create a small, carefully positioned access point. Using specialized drilling equipment, they created a narrow opening that would allow them to insert cameras and eventually extract small samples for analysis. Think of it like keyhole surgery, but for archaeology. Every step was documented with high-resolution photography and video. They set up environmental monitoring systems to track temperature, humidity, and air quality inside the chamber. If the conditions were too different from the outside environment, they'd need to acclimate the space slowly to prevent damage to any organic materials inside. The anticipation during this phase was absolutely electric. Researchers who had spent their entire careers studying Machu Picchu were about to see something no one had laid eyes on for centuries.